The story is the game. I thought we took a good lead. Probably it was an even game up until that point. We took a lead and then we had to defend well. I thought we frustrated them for long periods. Then got a second goal, and then, you know, I thought they deserved to come back. I don't think we held out long enough. I don't think we passed the ball very well in the second half, and I think you could see there was a lot of tired players on the pitch. Some players who haven't been playing loads of minutes, Dionisio, Bill, you know, so we didn't deserve to win the game, that's for sure.
Was the plan to let them have possession and work off the counter?
No, the plan was to let their three centre-backs have the ball and let them play 400 passes with each other. You know, and I thought we defended that really well, especially in the first half. I thought, you know, when we had the ball, we were patient. You know, because our goal certainly wasn't a counter-attack. I think there was 25 passes in that goal. You know, and it was a really good goal. We were patient, switch of play, a pull back from Nick, and that was something we'd worked on in terms of switching play and arriving late into the box, and we ended up getting a good goal from that. But you know, I always knew it was going to be a tough game today, you know, with the bodies that we had out, and it proved to be, and you know, it was a little bit of a step too far, and it's disappointing when you're 2 goals up, that's for sure.
And this rare time for Bill to alone in there, you got the cup match and stuff. How did you feel this partnership went?
Yeah, I thought he'd done well. You know, it was difficult because Muriel started up there and then dropped off into the 10 position at times. You know, and that was down to our then 2 centre midfielders to handle him when he came into them pockets. But on the whole, I thought they defended well. You know, as I say, until the last 10-15 minutes. No worries.
Dean, as you always tell us that your eyes tell you one story, the analytics have backed you up. Tonight you say you didn't deserve the full 3 points, but you come away with the one. Did you feel like you were just hanging on there those last?
Yeah, we were hanging on at the end, definitely. I mean, at the end, the last 15-20 minutes, you know, the only way we was going to, you know, go and score a goal was a counter-attack. You know, up until that period, I thought we had lots of reasonable play. You know, and I thought we started the game really well. I thought we started both halves really well. Pep's had 2 shots, you know, at the start of the second half as well. But we looked a little bit too gassed at the end.
Nick Scardina, I know he had the one shining star moment, but it seemed like he had a really nice night all around.
Yeah, he did. You know, really good ball. You know, I'm going to have to look back at the first goal though. You know, they was attacking down that side in the last 20-25 minutes. You know, Tigers come on for DD, who we knew, Dionisio, we knew he wouldn't get through the game, and he needed to stay more connected with the front 2, and he didn't, and it allowed their left-sided centre-back to travel too high in the game, and they create some 3v2s down that side.
Did you get word on how he's doing? I know he finished the game, but he was down for a bit.
Who's Scardina?
Nick, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the lad went through on him. You know, he's okay. I just hate that moment. I don't like that rule. You know, somebody goes through on you and it's very close to being a foul. He catches you, then you have to go off for 2 minutes. It's a ridiculous rule.
Coach, what do you think was the issue with the 2 goals that they got back? Did they allow too much space for Orlando to play?
We allowed too much space down our right-hand side and down their left-hand side, and we got caught there, and that's where most of the work came. We wanted to. We knew DD was tiring, so we wanted to get someone on down that side. We put Tiger on, and unfortunately he came in a little bit disconnected. He's not played there for a while, I suppose. But you know, him and Nick needed to work a little bit better on that side.
In a situation like that where you're defending, you know, what's notoriously the hardest league to defend in football, you know, how do you adjust to try to keep that lead? And obviously you said, you know, Orlando deserved some points on the night, but
well, we've had a couple of chances to go 3-0 up, and that would have killed the game. You know, when they go and get that equaliser, and the equaliser was too easy for me. A ball just played inside our full-back and centre-back, and a cut-back and a tap-in. And I think that gave them a little bit of belief and probably just took a little bit of wind out of our sails.
Speaking of wind in the sails, how big of an impact
Yeah, massive. We wanted to be back here. It feels like we haven't been here for a long time. The last one was a win against the best team in the league, in my opinion, in Columbus, and a really good performance. You know, what we do now, we get some players back, obviously. Tim and Paddy come back. You know, and hopefully we can get Sully back as well for next week.
And then finally for me, you know, you had Priv on the bench. He was questionable for the night, came in for Bill. Was it always the plan just to keep him a little fit and give him some minutes?
The plan was for not to use him. We didn't want to. You know, he trained yesterday for 20 minutes. That was it. And he felt okay, but the worry is how he was going to react if he had to come on. Unfortunately, he had to come on because Bill cramped up, which was always going to be, you know, the likelihood. And yeah, hopefully he's okay.
Cheers, thanks, Coach.
Cheers, thank you.
All right, last one, Muriel.
Hey, Dean, you started with Pep on the right and bring more defensive midfielders. Just your thoughts on that game plan?
Just watching how they play, knowing how they play, they build up in a 3-2, and we wanted their centre halves to have it, and we had pressing triggers to go and win the ball back. And first 5 minutes of the game, their left-sided centre backs put 3 balls out of play, you know, for throw-ins. So the press was working, and it was working well. I thought they found it hard to. I thought they had to play on counters at time to cut through us. But as I say, we became disconnected the last 20 minutes.
This is the third match where the team drops points. Some of the goals feel preventable. Is that a concern of yours?
Always a concern. You know, when you're conceding goals that you know, I look at the run that we've been on. It's, you know, we know that we've had lots of games away from home, and you know, I was at Norwich in the Premier League, and you play against teams where they're better than you and they beat you. I can honestly look back on all the games, probably the exception of Columbus away, and say we've been beaten in some games but we haven't been beaten by the better team, and that's a worry for me because it ends up being your own fault, and we have to look in the mirror at that rather than the other teams beating us.
And then last one, what's the message to the team? 'Cause it just feels like, you know, like you said, like these are preventable points that you can drop. What kind of conversations need we have in order to make sure that?
All right, listen, this has to be a reset for us. Our first game back at home. I think we've got another 3 before the League's Cup break, and we've got to make sure that we're strong for the next game now. As I say, what's going to be good now is having some players coming back as well. That's definitely hampered us. You know, and you know they'll come back and we'll be hopefully rejuvenated and get going again. Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.